for the final game of the first week in our PBA restart in Bacolor, Pampanga. We have a big one for you as the top two teams will go at it. Magnolia Hotshots, Pambansang Manok, led by the Pinatubo duo of Calvin Abueva and Ian Sangalang, going up against Jason Castro, Troy Rosario, and the rest of the TNT Tropang Giga. Both teams targeting the top in our current team standings here in the elimination round of your Honda PBA Philippine Cup 2021. We thank you for joining us on PBA Rush. Carl Pamintuan with Ali Pig and Ali. This is certainly the biggest game of the elimination round so far.
Well, we're at the halfway mark pretty much in the elimination round. It's always a curious thing to see two of the top teams going head to head and who's going to come out on top. Now, obviously, both of these teams very seasoned. Interesting enough because Coach Chet Reyes returns after like 10 or 11 years, and he's coaching in a completely different era. And I've always wondered what it would be like to see how he can make these adjustments. So far, so good, because they're tied for first place pretty much, and they're going up against a very tough Magnolia team.
You're taking a live look at Mark Barroca. 10 years in the PBA, still effective, still producing great numbers. One of the most efficient scorers of the Magnolia Hotshots. On the other side, the fiery rookie, Mikey Williams, setting a career high in their last game, in their last victory against the Meralco Bolts. Had a slow start to his career, but has since rebounded to show us a glimpse of what exactly he brings to the table. Our team standings, as we said, these two teams are currently at the top, certainly favored to finish at 1 and 2 and get those twice to beat advantage in the quarterfinals.
At this point in time, I don't see any other team really threatening that 1 and 2 position that TNT and Magnolia hold. Very impressive, but I also will say that both of these teams came out very prepared at the beginning of this conference, and I think that was key.
TNT coming from the finals of the PBA bubble, Magnolia Hotshots suffering a surprising quarterfinal exit at the hands of the Phoenix Super LPG Fuel Masters. As we check out the last game, the last performance of the Hotshots, they were surprised, they were shocked by the comeback coming from the Meralco Bolts, and they took their frustrations out on the hapless Blackwater Bossing.
Well, you know, Magnolia really being able to make their move, particularly in the third quarter, the second half. That's when they really start to take control of things over Blackwater. You look at some of those numbers there. 94 points, 40% from the field. 52 to 43, they out-rebounded Blackwater. 6 block shots from Magnolia, and then points from turnovers, 27 points.
And you know that the defense of Magnolia is really something else. They have tenacious defenders in every position, especially with their guards in Gio Halalon, Mark Barroca, even the returning Justin Melton. And of course, you add the beast, Calvin Abueva, who has provided them with all-around numbers. Take a look at this. 14 and 10 points and rebounds. You get steals, you get assists, you get blocks from the beast.
What's really intriguing about all of this is he's fit in well. You go back to Phoenix when he was part of Phoenix, he fit in perfect with that Phoenix squad. Then he comes now to Magnolia, and I think that, you know, it was what the doctor ordered. Yeah. When you consider, you know, Mark Pingris retiring from basketball, you know, a Rafi Ribas who's aging, this is the perfect person to bring in to sort of revamp the rebounding, the tenacity, especially in the paint.
One of the hotshot rookies, Jeric Ahanmisi, had a good game against the Terra Firma G, but had really to get himself going the way he wants to. On the other side, for the Magnolia Hotshots still, Ian Sangalang also rebounded from a poor game, at least efficiency-wise, against the Meralco Bolts to finish with 16 points, 7 of 13 from the field. Ever reliable, always a threat in the shaded area.
Well, he's still very young in his career, you know, and again, when you add someone like Calvin Abueva too, that just beefs up and takes a lot of the attention off of someone like Ian Sangalang. But no question, Ian Sangalang is their major force underneath the basket, in the block in particular.
TNT Tropang Giga staying undefeated as they defeated the Meralco Bolts in their last contest. They just steamrolled the Bolts in the first half. Of course, Meralco, as a tenacious team, tried the comeback, but they were down too deep to overcome that huge first half advantage.
A lot of that happened because of the turnovers and the defense by TNT. Keep in mind, TNT is #1 in steals and points off of turnovers. You'd see those second chance points also. The offensive rebounding on the part of TNT, 25 points, 91 points to Morocco's 75. They completely dominated Morocco in that meeting.
They limited Chris Newsom to numbers below his average, forced him to commit 5 turnovers, as it was the offense of Mikey Williams that really led the attack for the TNT Tropang Giga. A career high of 27 points, 11 of 20 from the field. 27 points is the top that a rookie has scored here in the season so far.
Well, this guy's not a rookie. He's 29 years old. He's played in other, other professional leagues, but he's just getting started, Carlo. Yeah, we're seeing the reason why TNT selected this guy. Now, you talk about the absence of Ray Parks not being part of TNT, but this is the perfect filler for someone of Ray Parks' abilities. Mikey Williams, impressive because he can run the show. The last time you had that type of duo was Jimmy Alapag and Jason Castro. They both complemented each other really well. The same thing can happen in this conference for TNT.
Ali, we talked about how Magnolia has really good defensive-minded guards, Mark Baroca, Gio Halalon, Justin Melton. That crew will have to work extra hard to try and slow down these outstanding guards of the TNT Tropang Giga. Jason Castro, RR Pugoy, they might not be producing outstanding numbers. I mean, we know that they're capable of so much more, but at any given game, Castro or Pugoy can explode and just take over.
Yeah, definitely. You look at those numbers right now, both in double figures. Castro around 12.2 points per game. A lot of that is because he's coming off the bench. They're really monitoring his minutes. Of course, you want those dividends to pay off once the playoffs start for Jason Castro. RR Pugoy, 13.8 points per game, but it's also been their perimeter defense. Those two are some of the two that are responsible for those steals, causing those turnovers that result in points.
We will take a quick break. We will meet the starting units for the Magnolia Hotshots, Pambansang Manok, and the TNT Tropang Giga when we come back.
This is the 2021 PBA Philippine Cup from the Don Honorio Ventura State University in Bacolor, Pampanga. Our second matchup for today features Magnolia Pambansang Manok Hotshots taking on the TNT Tropang Giga. And now let's meet the starters first for Magnolia Pambansang Manok Hotshots. A 5'8" guard from Cagayan de Oro City, number 6, Gio Halalon. A 5'10" guard from Angeles City, number 2, Justin Melton. A 6'7" center from Lubao, Pampanga, number 10, Ian Sangalang. A 6'4" forward from Ilagan, Isabela, number 1, Jackson Corpus. And a 6'1" forward from Tondo, Manila, number 3, Paul Lee. Head coach for Magnolia is Chito Victorero. And now the starters for TNT Tropang Giga. A 5'10" guard from Cebu City, number 13, Brian Heruela. A 6'2" guard from Naga City, number 5, Mikey Williams. A 6'2" forward from Talisay, Cebu, number 16, RR Pugoy. A 6'7" forward from Cagayan Valley, number 18, Troy Rosario. And a 6'6" center from Cebu, number 21, Kelly Williams. Head coach for TNT is Chot Reyes. Our referees for this game.
Your starters for Magnolia, Halalon, Melton, Sangalang, Corpus, and Lee Heruela, Pugoy, Williams again, Mikey this time, and Troy Rosario for the TNT Tropang Giga. First of all, it's good to see Troy Rosario back as he rolled his ankle late in the game against the Meralco Bulls. So it's good for TNT that he is back in action. And it will be Kelly Williams jumping it up against Jackson Corpus. This tip-off is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
And Brian Heruela also had a pretty good output versus Moralco. He's another one of the members of that guard rotation that's been very effective so far for TNT. But one of the things that TNT is going to have to be worried about is Magnolia is one of the top teams in the league as far as point production is concerned. They're also number 1 in three-point shooting, so they're going to have to address that problem. But if you're Magnolia, you got to be aware of the steals, second chance point opportunities, fast break points. It's been TNT's defense that has really gotten them their wins.
Jumper won't work for Paul Lee. Battle for the rebound picked up by Mikey Williams. Quickly forward to RR Pagoy. Pagoy, one-hander, no good. Corpus with the board.
It's going to be very important which team in the beginning, dictates the pace of this game, because I also think that's going to be key. Both teams have the capability of pushing the ball, but if you want to give the advantage to one team as far as that category goes, it's Magnolia.
Ian Sangalang drew the double team. Halalon open for three, no good. That will be a foul. Loose ball foul against Corpus.
Jackson Corpus laid out RR Pogoy. It's always interesting to see what kind of hairstyle or hair color Jackson Corpus is going to have.
I'm sure that Jackson Corpus really wasn't happy with the way that he was not able to play alongside Mark Pingris.
Probably. We talked about Calvin Abueva, helping out with that front line. He's another guy that helped that front line as far as energy is concerned, doing a lot of the intangibles, the dirty work.
First basket of the ball game, courtesy of the lethal weapon, Paul Lee. This is a player who was really able to use that lull in the action to take care of that injured hamstring and go back to this 100% right now for Magnolia.
Yeah, that's very good for Magnolia.
Troy Rosario wide open from deep.
It's a nice setup there by Mikey Williams, recognizing that he was being double teamed off that pick and finding Troy Rosario for the three-point shot.
Consistent double-double numbers for Troy Rosario throughout this conference so far. He has been so important to the cause of the Tropang Giga. Lee, top of the key, defended by Aruela, forces it as he draws a foul for 2 free throws.
Well, on that occasion there, let's take a look at this nice move and this drive here by the lethal weapon, that pull-up jump shot. And then the setup here. Jackson Corpus looked like he got confused on who was supposed to rotate there.
He was waiting for Paul Lee to
pop rotate
out.
over, to rotate over.
And then he was about to cover Paul Lee's man at the corner.
Yeah. One of the things that TNT is going to have to really key on is the pick and rolls. Right there, it looked like, well, first of all, Aruela had a rough time recovering and fighting over those screens.
RR Pagoy with a nice dish. Troy Rosario could not finish though. Sorry miss for Troy with a one-hander. I mean, looking at these two teams, Ali, there's no doubt that they have strong first five. But then, for TNT, you have JP Eram and you have Jason Castro coming off the bench. On the other side, you have Mark Baroka and Calvin Abueva coming up.
Calvin Abueva, and then every once in a while, Rafi Rivas.
You have Rome De La Rosa, their best forward defender.
Both of these teams are deep. But I think Troy Rosario has had a great conference. And I talked about this in the last game that I covered is, Chut Reyes said a good thing. He said that we're not looking for you to be the next RDO. And possibly that was in the back of his mind.
Yeah.
The expectation. There's always expectation when you're a top pick going over to a company, a team that has so much winning tradition. And of course, the comparisons never help. But he said, we're not looking for you to be the next RDO. We're looking for you to be the first Troy Rosario. I think that took a lot of pressure off of him.
And you've played a lot of basketball. You've won championships with Coach Chot Reyes. His system really allows you to use your skills to find out where you'd be most successful.
A lot of that has to do with the type of offense. That's the dribble drive offense, right? You really, there's a lot of improvisations there within, the structure. But the one thing that is very valuable of Coach Chut is he keeps things simple. Not too many plays run. He does make adjustments on both ends of the court, but also the community that he builds. It's not about one person. It's not even about himself. It's about everybody on that squad.
Gio Halalon comes up empty once again as there is a foul down low between Jackson Corpus and Troy Rosario. Jackson a little too close for comfort as he commits 2 personal fouls early in this ball game. We're only 4 minutes in.
Take a look at this turnaround or spin move by Mikey Williams. You know, taking advantage of his size, seeing that he has a smaller defender in Paul Lee.
But you already saw Paul Lee try to body him up, and it did not have an effect against Mikey Williams.
Well, right now it looks like there's a bit of talking going on between some of the guards of Magnolia and Mikey Williams. And speaking of guards, Brian Haruela, you know, coming off that screen or that shadow screen, attacking. Now, it's good because we're seeing a lot of what Brian Haruela can actually do, you know, especially in the dribble drive offense. So a lot of these guys are handpicked specifically by Coach Chud.
Full timeout brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. 7-4 is the score in favor of the TNT Tropang Giga. The Beast, Calvin Abueva, checking in for the very first time. He has been exactly what Magnolia needed to get themselves into another level.
For sure. You know, and I always believe that Calvin Abueva changes the complexion of any team.
Yeah.
You know, with the energy, a little bit of the swag, but also we've been talking about intangibles the whole night. But he's one of those guys that brings those types of productions to any team that he plays for.
Because, you know, Magnolia had to play a lot of their 3-point guard lineup, sometimes out of necessity, because Ron De La Rosa was their only legitimate 3 that could eat up a lot of minutes for Coach Chito Victorero. But then when you put in a Calvin Abueva who can play 3 in a big lineup, can play 4 in a smaller lineup,
that gives a lot of options for Coach Chito Victorero. And I also believe that bringing in Jackson Corpus is also a big help to that front line as well. Now, they definitely have to go younger because that lineup was aging. That front line was aging.
of course, Paul Lee, closest thing to an automatic free throw shooter that we have in the PBA right now, barely misses from the free throw line here in the conference.
Well, I find myself automatically going to his Instagram account, checking out some of his photos because it's hilarious sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, what on God's green earth are you doing?
I'm just there for the
coffee.
But
it's funny.
I'm there for the coffee.
His facial expressions are funny too, you know.
Calvin Abueva, his first turnover. You know, you have to take the good with the bad with Calvin. He can bring the ball down, but sometimes he will make mistakes.
You know, some of the coaching staffs that I've spoken to, you know, particularly with Alaska, they said, hey, he's great. You know, he'll make mistakes, but he'll make up for those mistakes.
Meanwhile, Mikey Williams woke up certainly on the right side of the bed after a career-high 27 points, already with 5 after that triple.
I keep mentioning this, Carlos, in the other broadcast, but, you know, I got a chance to see him work out a few years back, and I was very impressed with his work ethic and the way he carried himself and his ability to follow instructions, particularly, you know, running the point guard position.
Well, TNT will have the numbers here. Mikey pulls up for 3. A little too strong, but he gets his own miss, sends it forward to Roger Pagoy for the banker.
Very efficient. Very efficient. You know, You know, he did pull up for that three-point shot. He got his own rebound and found R.R. Pagoy underneath the basket.
And what this does is it saves the legs of Jason Castro for a long run in the playoffs.
I mean, it was something that was sort of lacking, although they were stacked last year in the conferences before that. But still, they didn't have someone that could really pacify those minutes of Jason Castro.
Of course, hindsight is 2020,
Yes.
Ali. But looking back to their PBA bubble, they had to rely so much on R.R. Pagoy and Ray Parks and Jason Castro. They had to give them so many minutes that in the end they just did not have enough legs.
I would agree with you on that one. You know, but again, just hearing some of the responses when Coach Chud came back, you know, the complexion changed in my opinion, but also a lot of players were very excited, and I believe that Jason Castro was one of those guys that was very excited about Coach Chud, his old coach, coming back.
Ryan Reyes entering the ball game. Good to see Ryan back in action, of course, for the TNT Tropang Giga. Jason Castro versus Mark Baroca. So many great moments in the finals between these two players.
Of course.
Troy Rosario for three. Rattles out. Paul Lee with the board. Baroca with a cross-court pass to Ahan Misi. Does not pull the trigger from deep. Calvin Abueva fakes. Dribbles in closer. One-hander short. Rebound to Troy Rosario.
It's interesting of the way Troy Rosario defended Calvin Abueva was he gave him space, sort of daring him to take that jump shot.
Kelly Williams too strong on the mid-range jumper as we swing back to the side of the Hotshots. That's another illegal screen.
It also kind of looked as if Ryan Reyes sort of baited him into that, you know, sold it to the ref. But here's another guy that's been playing really good basketball for TNT, Kubuntin. And I've said this also, he reminds me a lot, Carlo, of Aaron Aban in the way he plays. You know, strong, athletic.
So those are the additions, the free agent signings of TNT. Brian Aruela was traded from Phoenix to Alaska in that deal involving Vic Manuel. He was not signed by Alaska, picked up by TNT. Cobuntin was left as a free agent. Dave Marcelo was left as a free agent.
All picked up.
How do you like those additions?
I do. I like them. You know, and we you know, I'm a bit surprised at Dave Marcelo because I didn't realize how athletic he is. He's shown a lot of good things. But Brian Heruela, I've always been impressed with, even back to his Blackwater days. A pretty talented point guard.
Rome De La Rosa open for three. Oh, an air ball coming from Rome.
And I also think that Kabuntin is in a good position here.
Yeah.
Playing in a system that allows him to really show what he has.
Mikey Williams will take a break. In comes Kib Montalvo. As we've been stuck at 12-8 for a while now. Both teams not really putting in the numbers. Ryan Reyes kicked the ball out of bounds. Ball will go back to Magnolia. But in terms of just having a low-scoring game, who does it favor, Ali?
Well, in terms of having a low-scoring game, I would have to say it should favor TNT because, you know, right now they have the lead. And it also, they're a lot more comfortable in the dribble drive offense in comparison to when this conference first started.
Mark Baroca to Rivas, his pass goes wayward. Cobuntin was steal. They do not have the numbers. They do not care. That is a blocking foul against Calvin Abueva. Looks like he also took a hit on the face.
Probably an elbow to the chin.
2 early fouls for Calvin.
We have an official suspension of
Here's this take here.
Did he get there? Did he get to the defensive spot?
It looked like he did to me. I mean, it's above the arc. It didn't look like Montalvo's elbow connected with his jaw. See from this angle here. Oh, yes, it did. Oh, it sure did. Yeah, that doesn't feel good.
But was he able to just slip into it? Was he still moving? It was bang bang. It was right in the middle of it.
It's 50. But I thought that he got there in time. Maybe his legs, his feet could have been a little bit wider, but I thought he got there in time.
Maybe it also helped that Kib was doing a sidestep.
The sidestep, yeah.
Because if he just barged into Calvin, it would have been an offensive foul, as he misses both free throws anyway. Calvin trying to make up for it on the other side. He will take 2 free throws.
But I said that I think that the advantage goes to TNT because they could be very, very effective in the dribble drive offense. So many options off of that. But Magnolia really likes to push the ball, like I said before. And I just don't think that TNT should try to get in that type of game.
TNT up by 4 as we head into this timeout. Troy Rosario injured his ankle late in the game against the Meralco Bulls. Was he good to go? Certainly, the answer is yes for now, as the double-double threat of the Tropang Giga started out this game well, connected with a 3-point shot already, as he continues to be one of the focal members of the attack for Coach Chot Reyes' squad.
The big man position, or the stretch 4 position nowadays, but look at those numbers, 10.8 points per game, 10.4 rebounds per game. He's averaging a double-double, but I like the shooting percentage, and he looks very, very comfortable, playing with a lot of confidence. You know, the good thing about playing in that type of system is, as a big, you don't have to create your own shot. You don't have to bang bodies in the post. All you got to do is just cut, and the guards will find you. Or you crash the offensive rebounds, or run the floor.
Which Troy Rosario all does well.
Very well, very well. And then you add the 3-point shooting to the whole fray. Now, I did mention that Magnolia likes to push the ball. However, I will remind everybody that TNT is number 2 in fast break points. But when you think about guys such as Rome De La Rosa, you know, even Mark Boroca for that matter, Paul Lee, Calvin Abueva, when he gets the offensive rebound and he goes, you know, those can cause problems for the defense of TNT. So that's the reason why I said that.
But so far, the defense of TNT is holding strong as they stay ahead in this matchup, ahead by 3. Mark Barroco versus Kip Montalvo. Calvin Abueva fakes a 3, gives the ball up to De La Rosa. The Beast wanting to post up against Ryan Reyes. De La Rosa starts his move, kicks it out, mid-range jumper. Rafi Rivas still effective.
Well, every once in a while, Rafi Rivas will knock down those jump shots, those mid-range jump shots. I haven't seen him knock down 3-point shots as well.
He won't try what he doesn't practice for sure, as he just stays true to the game, does the dirty work, but he was not able to stop JP Aram from scoring on that putback.
Speaking of dirty work, JP Aram, you know, learning really how to play that type of role. You know, cleaning up underneath, and I know that Coach Chud wants to see a lot more of that on the part of JP Adam.
I think that the re-entry of Kelly Williams and the start of Kelly Williams was able to take a lot of pressure away from the shoulders of JP Adam.
I agree with you 100%, Carlo, but at the same time, I also believe that JP Adam has to take on that challenge.
Yeah.
You know, to really solidify him. He's been having, with the last 4 or 5 seasons, he's been great. You know, but now he's on a higher stage, a bigger stage. TNT, you know, a team that's going to be playing in the finals, or possibly be playing in the finals.
Well, that is at least the target, a
Yeah,
return
that's
trip
the
to the
target,
finals.
yeah. So he has to live up to those challenges.
Good ball rotation for the TNT Tropang Giga. Cobontin with a strong move, but he overshoots the mark. Calvin Abueva could not handle the rock, as the ball will go back to TNT. Castro for 3, no good. Look at the activity coming from TNT, just getting the loose balls. However, De La Rosa with a takeaway, scramble for the loose ball, lands with Kip Montalvo, as Cobontin says, wait, let's set it up. That's a clear foul. That's a clear foul on De La Rosa.
This is what they do. Again, I'm going to mention some of the statistics here where TNT really excels, the second chance opportunities. You know, those are just 50-50 balls. It all started really with the long arms of JP Adam getting his hands in there, knocking the ball loose from Calvin Abueva's rebound.
JJ Alejandro seeing his first action of the ball game. As there will be a technical foul whistled against Coach Chito Victolero. Did not like that last foul whistled against Rom De La Rosa, as Castro is on the line for the technical free throw.
You know, I wonder what it must feel like to be, you know, like I thought about that. Like, what if I was able to play as a professional athlete in my old high school gym,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know, on top of that, there's no COVID and everyone's there, right? I mean, that would be crazy. And that's what Jason Castro is really doing right now.
You know what? You know what? The fact that the PBA was able to play here means that when the world's better after this pandemic, I think there's a high possibility that we will be coming back with fans, with Jason Castro playing here
It
again.
should. Why not?
It could happen in the future. It will be an out-of-town game. And that should be a really good story. You know what? Starting to imagine the future, the first time that PBA fans are allowed in the venue,
That's going to be crazy.
I'm looking forward to that day already, Ali. I hope it's in the near future. We will have to be a little more patient. I'm so excited for that moment as Jeric Ahanmisi misses from deep. And Jason Castro will attempt to beat the buzzer. He will come up short, as that will be the end of the first quarter of action. Top 2 teams, tight contest so far. It's deadlock, 15 apiece between the TNT Tropang Giga and the Magnolia Pambansang Manok Hotshots. You know, Calvin Abueva, we said that he can hurt you with turnovers when he goes aggressively to the hoop, but he can also do these things. I mean, take on 4 defenders and still find a way to score.
It's an uncanny instinct that he has. And, you know, that can't be taught.
Yeah.
It's something that you just have. And what I'm talking about is just his ability to get to the basket, but also just having a knack of where to position his body and where the ball is actually going. It's one of the first things that I noticed about him when I first played against him, back in his Alaska days.
15-15. Field goal shooting not good on both ends. Both teams playing good enough defense, deny each other from getting their groove. As Rom De La Rosa does not attempt a lot of those coming off a move, a jumper, but he converts.
Well, they're trying to look for cracks in TNT's defense, and that's one of them. They tried to post Rom De La Rosa up earlier, and this time around it worked.
Oh, what a stop coming from Calvin Abueva. Skying for that block against JP Eram. That was a little dangerous with already 2 personal fouls across his name.
But that's the type of player Calvin Abueva is. He can also be a rim protector at his size.
6 seconds remaining in the shot clock for TNT. Dave Marcelo down low. Great pass coming from the Blur.
That's a nice over-the-head pass by the Blur, finding a cutting Dave Marcelo. He did the right thing by just cutting to the basket.
Hand off to Mark Barroca against Alejandro. Behind the back pass goes wayward. Barroca with the turnover. (17-17) minute gone by in your second quarter of play. We thank you for joining us on PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan with Ollie Peak on the call. And Barroca versus Jason Castro, a matchup that we were really looking forward to seeing again, Ali.
Well, Castro did a good job. The offense was stagnant. The ball was over there in the corner. Everyone was just sort of standing around, and he did the right thing by cutting backdoor on Mark Barroca.
JJ Alejandro with a big on him. There's an offensive foul called against TNT. Looks like this might be on JP Eram. Yeah, he was trying to take advantage of his size, but he was a little too physical there against a smaller defender, Nahan Misi.
Sometimes it's a big when you find a mismatch like that. Yeah, you want to be strong, you want to be powerful, you want to get the guy behind you, but at the same time, you have to sort of finesse it.
Yeah.
Again, Rom De La Rosa in the post.
Calvin, strong drive to the hoop for 2.
That's what I'm talking about. He doesn't really elevate over people, but he's able to get that ball up and accurate.
But the defense of the Magnolia Hotshots starting to have an effect as this drive leads to 2 points for the Beast.
It's also good recognition by the Beast. He saw that Marcelo started to cut upwards towards the free throw line. That left a gap. All he had to do was get past his defender.
Oh, another good pass to Dave Marcelo. Those two have connected for back-to-back times now.
Help side defense has been absent the last few possessions of Magnolia, or defending the last 2 possessions of TNT from Magnolia.
And Jason Castro demands so much attention coming from the high ball screen that he can really open things up for his teammates.
Oh, for sure. And here's again, pick and roll. Dave Marcelo wide open. All he has to do is go straight up. The help side defense late.
So initially it was Mikey Williams setting up his teammates, and now it's Jason Castro. Just a luxury for Coach Chotreyes to have 2 outstanding creators on the floor on his squad, 1 present at any given time.
It is a very talented lineup. You got Brian Heruela, R.R. Pogoy, Jason Castro, Mikey Williams.
Kip Montalvo as well, another
Yes,
guard.
yes.
Long 3 for Paul Lee is good.
Wow. You do not want Paul Lee to get comfortable, especially from that range. Again, Magnolia's #1 in three-point shooting.
That time around, it was well read. The pass of Jason Castro stolen. Leak out. Easy basket for Rome De La Rosa.
It's part of the reason why I said that the running game by Magnolia, even though they're not ranked so high, they do have the capability of getting there.
Scrambling much better defensively in the past couple of possessions. RR Pagoy will take this against Calvin this time as there was a switch. Mikey Williams open for three. No good. Rebound Barroja.
Magnolia's doing a good job of boxing
read,
out.
Good read
Wow.
from Jason Castro. And he finishes strong at the hoop.
Again, steals on the part of Talking Text. They're averaging 9.6 steals per ball game.
I really like the gamesmanship between these two because it was Barroca who got a steal off Jason. And then Jason got it right back for 2 points.
Yeah.
Barroca with a speed advantage against Rosario. Lost him with a crossover
Wow.
and kills him with a shot.
Wow. Talking about two teams with some of the premier guards for such a long period of time in the league. What's cool about this whole thing is Mikey Williams just get a glimpse of it all.
Yep. You will see a lot of different looks on defense. Halalon, Melton, Barroca, even Lee and Abueva later. Barroca saves it to Paul Lee, who does not have the numbers. Still forces the shot up, he misses. No rebounders present there for Magnolia. Jason Castro will wait to set it up. Marcelo for three.
And this is what I'm talking about. That's why the pace in this game, this particular game, does not favor TNT. All right, because these are rush shots. This is what Magnolia likes to do. They like to get out and take quick shots. We saw what Paul Lee just did. Okay, normally Paul Lee will make those types of shots. This is not what TNT is used to.
So let me get what you're saying. You're saying that TNT is known for their fast break attacks, but what's effective against the other teams might not be effective against Magnolia.
In this case scenario, I believe so, yes.
Well put. 26-21. 5-point advantage for the Hotshots as Halalon is back in the ball game alongside Corpus. Jackson. Too casual there with the basketball. Mikey Williams strong to the hoop, misses with a layup. Offensive rebound and put back for RR Pagoy.
Mikey Williams thought he got fouled there, but this is some of the things that he's going to have to get used to. Gio Halalon is a very, very physical, rough defender.
RR Pagoy not quitting on the play. And Jackson Corpus really not known for his ball handling, and you cannot do that with a lot of good defensive guards around you. It cost them a turnover and 2 points. With RR Pagoy scoring this time out is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Magnolia Hotshots still up, but just by 3, 26-23. For an entire decade, Mark Barroca has been performing for this franchise that drafted him, the Magnolia Pambansang Manok Hotshots, still going strong. The junior Ironman of the PBA still effective, 12 points per ball game. And how about 51% from the field from a point guard, Ali?
If you're Magnolia, what more can you ask for? You know, I've always said this guy's one of the tougher guards. Even when he was with Gilas, the very first Gilas, right off the bat, because we used to practice together, I knew, hey, this guy has what it takes to make it really big in the PBA.
Not on the floor right now. Paul Lee against Brian Arruela. Lee carving up space, hanging midair, missing. Williams with the board. But he had the ball stripped away from him. Paul Lee loses his grip on the basketball, taking the three. Williams back to Eruela. Ryan pulls it out as they will wait for the rest of their teammates to join them.
TNT just needs to, there they go. They're setting back up again, which is what they need to do. This is their strength.
There's a mismatch somewhere. As finally Magnolia recovers defensively. Kelly Williams with the hook shot off the glass.
Very rare that you see Kelly Williams operate out of the block. That was a nice dribble, drop step as they call it, with the hook shot off the glass.
TNT now knocking at the door, 26-25, only a single point lead for the Hotshots. Rome De La Rosa sends it out to Gio Halalon. 5 seconds remaining in the shot clock for Magnolia. Halalon with a drive. He's blocked up top, but fouled down low.
What the fuck?
We apologize for the language in case you heard that. 26-25.
See, when there's no audience,
Yeah,
for the people that are listening, you can hear everything, and I mean everything.
As Gio converts on the first free throw to extend their lead to 2. The guards have been leading the attack for the Magnolia Hotshots. 9 points for Paul Lee. You have 4 coming from Mark Baroka. And now Gio Halalon also getting into the action. But only a split for Gio. Kelly Williams with another drive, not this time. Loose ball foul against Troy Rosario.
That's part of the attack when it comes to the dribble drive offense. Sometimes when the big man is trailing and he sees that he has an opening or a space to operate or attack, it's there. But on that possession, Kelly was unable to convert.
Another low-scoring quarter so far between these two teams. It was only at 15-15 after the first 12 minutes. Ian Sangalang coming up short. Kelly Williams has been a solid rebounder so far in this ball game, Ali.
He's collected a couple of defensive rebounds.
Brian Eruela open for 3, no good. A rebound Sangalang. Halalon does not force the issue from deep as they will set up. Paul Lee does not use the screen, goes the other side. Baseline jumper, Sangalang won't get the bounce. Foul against Gio.
It's really physical in the paint there, especially when they're going for rebounds. A lot of bodies being shoved around.
Substitution, Mark Baroka for Rome De La Rosa.
Mark Baroka will re-enter the contest as Coach Chito Victolero will go back to his 3-point guard lineup. Baroka, Halalon, and Lee on the floor at the same time. And they are joined by Corpus and Sangalang against Mikey Williams, Kelly Williams, Pogoy, Brian Eruela, and Troy Rosario as R.R. Pogoy misses. The ball is tapped back to Pogoy. R.R. with a defense of Gio all over him. Draws the double team. His pass goes to Kelly Williams. Battle for the loose ball, finally picked up by Corpus.
Got good defensive play by Jackson Corpus, blocking Kelly Williams' shot.
Oh, good block. Speaking of blocks, there's one coming from Kelly Williams.
You know, both big men of both sides doing a pretty good job of protecting the paint and protecting the basket. You see that block by Kelly Williams on Mark Baroka, but on the other end, Jackson Corpus doing his own rim protecting.
Jerick Ahanmisi replaces Paul Lee. In 4 minutes, 17 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Corpus diving for the loose ball. Halalon, forward to Mark Baroka, who was not expecting it. He was already trying to carve up space for Gio to attack, and then all of a sudden the ball is still in dash.
Defensive pressure is one of the things that Magnolia really excels at, especially full court pressure. This is something that TNT is going to have to be very aware of. But as I say that, Troy Rosario was able to convert.
Good response coming from Troy. Nothing fancy. Dribbling it down. backing down Jackson Corpus for that jump hook. And speaking of ball pressure, Pogoy sends it forward to Mikey Williams for the touchdown.
Just really, this season, or this conference, seems to be a conference where TNT gets a lot of points off of steals.
And they don't gamble a lot. I mean,
It's just it's arm's length. You know, they're really extending, denying the basketball, and they're getting their hands in the passing lanes. On top of everything else, that was a bit of a lazy pass. As we take a look at Troy Rosario take Jackson Corpus off the dribble.
you know, I say this, Ali, because if a team gambled a lot, it would mean they were taking unnecessary chances
Exactly.
on defense. But if you look at points allowed per game, TNT is one of the top teams.
It is, yeah.
So they're getting steals, but it's very disciplined.
Very controlled, disciplined steals.
Oh, misconnection there. As Ian Sangalang was already cutting to the basket, Mark Baroka thought that he was going to pop out for the mid-range J. 29-29, an opportunity now for TNT Tropang Giga to take the lead.
This is a very, very big chess match, Carlo, for both squads. I mean, defensively, both of these teams at the top of the heap. Magnolia only allows 81 points per game of their opponent. TNT, 76 points per game from their opponents. So, you know, it's part of the reason why it's a low-scoring game.
With ball down, number 18 for Rosario, penalty. Timeout,
TNT Tropang Giga finds himself in the penalty situation. So that will mean 2 free throws for Calvin Abueva when we come back from this timeout. Ali, earlier you were talking about, you know, just following the Instagram account of Paulie and being entertained. As we take a look at the single round robin eliminations, the format, of course, 11 games per team, top 8 advance. You all know the drill: 1 and 2 again, 7 and 8 twice to beat, 3 to 6 is the best of 3. We have the semifinals as a best of 7 and the finals as a best of 7 as well. You know, speaking of Instagram accounts, I follow Rafi Rivas and just how he wants to show off his food every day.
Yeah.
He just enjoys showing off the food that he gets at the Quest Hotel
Now,
every day.
sometimes it's cold-blooded, though. Like, sometimes it's like, you know, there's food that he likes, and then there's food that he doesn't
Yep, like everyone.
And I'm just like, you know,
Like everyone else. He can't lie to himself. If the food is not what he usually eats, he will make his feelings be known.
it's like, okay, this looks good. And then the other time it's, nah. Oh, man.
He'll probably order.
I don't
like,
think I can do that on Instagram, though.
or he'll probably order
All
a
I
burger
keep thinking
or
about
something.
is, you know, this staff, you know, really doing a really detailed job, putting their heart into preparing the food, and then he rejects it.
But it's the same food for the entire team.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can't hit everyone all at the same time.
That is
I
true.
mean,
That is true.
of course, we also follow the workout videos of Coach Chot.
Well, he's got more muscles than I do. Though. Well, no, he doesn't have more muscles. He has more cuts, and I'm feeling very insecure.
I mean, if you have a coach working hard on the weight room like that, there's no excuse for
There's
any other
absolutely
player, right?
no excuse. Yeah.
30-29, Mark Baroka won't get the friendly roll on the one-hander. Final couple of minutes and change remaining in the first half of basketball in this ball game between Magnolia and TNT Tropang Giga. RR Pogoy overshoots the mark as well with his own version of the one-hander. Abueva asking for it. He has space to operate. Kicks it out to Barroca. They go in now to Sangalang. Ian running into a bit of trouble there. De La Rosa put back, still nothing. As Kelly continues to be a big factor on the boards. 8 rebounds in the contest already for Kelly.
He's really battling for those boards, but also you got to be impressed with the way they're defending inside, especially against Ian Sangalang. He hasn't been able to get to his comfort zone or comfort spots to make those shots.
Oh, good swipe, good clean swipe coming from Jason Castro, giving Gio Halalon a dose of his own medicine. Well, I know it's a duty foul to prevent a fast break, but that will be the third of the beast.
Yeah, may have not have been the best decision. Of course, the coaching staff, Coach Cheeto, is thinking about the next half.
Yeah.
And how he's going to manage his minutes.
Coach Chito yanking out Calvin Abueva to prevent him from possibly committing a 4th foul here in the 2nd quarter. Mikey Williams with a strong drive. Nice pass to Troy Rosario. Misses the layup, but he will get 2 free throws for his effort.
And that's, you know, that's a decision. The way he made that decision, I mean, that is not a rookie type of performance right there. But again, you know, being able to find Troy Rosario off of that type of drive.
First free throw is good to tie the contest for Troy Rosario. It was 15-15 at the end of the 1st quarter. Now 15-15 as well in the 2nd quarter.
Pretty much, yeah. Troy Rosario, 6 points, 6 rebounds.
As expected.
Yes.
Has been a constant, consistent double-double threat. 7 points and 6 rebounds in the ball game. This might be a 30-second timeout requested by the Magnolia Hotshots. For Manzamanov, they will burn it as they could not take it in the 2nd half. 1 minute remaining here in the 2nd quarter. And exactly to your point, Ali, it has been a chess match between these two coaches.
Oh yeah, neck and neck. And again, you know, this is more of a defensive game than anything because both teams are having a really hard time, you know, scoring. I keep thinking about Ian Sangalang still having a hard time. You can tell that he wants to get that ball on the left side. He wants to attack left and get that left-hand hook shot going. But you also know that TNT has been preparing for that.
Coach Chito Victolero going up for the first time against Coach Shot Reyes.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting how that whole thing plays out. I'm sure it's a first for Coach Chut and other coaches as well that have been coaching in the PBA the last 5 or so years.
Not a smart foul there coming from RR Pogoy as they are already in the penalty situation.
That's his first.
Hand in the cookie jar type of foul. And again, Paulie is not the player you want to see on the free throw line if you're the opponent.
Yeah, you know, and especially with 53 seconds left, you know, you do have the lead here, and you have the possibility of giving up that lead.
Still automatic from the stripe as he retakes the lead for the Magnolia Hotshots. It's low scoring, but it's still an exciting
Still an
ball
exciting
game.
yeah. I mean, we're seeing a lot of good things offensively, defensively.
You can sense that, I mean, a matchup between these two teams might be inevitable in the playoffs.
That is a very big possibility. That was a nice shot, nice stroke by JP Adam. He turned and faces defender.
Barroca curls up top. Nice entry pass. Jackson Corpus was more worried about the foul than the basket, ended up missing.
Looked like he got hurt there.
30-second timeout.
And that will
TNT
give
Tropang.
TNT an opportunity to end this first half on a good note, calling this 30-second timeout to map out a play in the final 11.1 seconds. They have a lot of creators on the floor. Mikey Williams is there. Jason Castro also there.
And what oftentimes happens here, Carlo, is Coach Chud's going to draw up some plays, give a few options. If this is not available, then we go with this, that. Now, if none of those things are available and the clock is winding down, automatic pick and roll.
Let's see what the options are for the white shirts in the final 11.1. As you can expect that a foul will be given up by the Magnolia Hotshots. So in comes Justin Melton for Paul Lee. Rafi Rivas also entering the ball game. Foul being committed as expected. So decent amount of time to work with for the TNT Tropang.
4.7 seconds is enough to make a good play here going into halftime.
Oh, Jason Castro. 3 seconds remaining. Pull-up jumpers, money. Mark Baroka to beat the buzzer for 3. Almost. Good line, a little short. So at the half, in this intense but low-scoring affair, with the #1 spot in our team standings up for grabs, the Magnolia Hotshots, Pambansang Manok, and the TNT Tropang Giga have battled, have scratched, have clawed their way into a crawl, 35-32 in favor of TNT Tropang Giga, heading into the halftime break. Low in scoring but high in intensity. That has been the story so far in the first half of this matchup between the TNT Tropang Giga and the Magnolia Pambansang Manok Hotshots. Whoever wins this battle will be the #1 team in the standings so far in your Honda PBA Philippine Cup 2021. Carlo Pamintuan and Ali Peak covering for PBA Rush, watching the highlights of our first half of action. In the second quarter, things remain tight. Defense remained impressive, but the Beast, Calvin Abueva, found a way to score.
Yes, definitely. But he also picked up 3 fouls, which forced Coach Chito Picadero into a difficult situation. But, you know, plays like this, Jason Castro being able to find some of his teammates rather, off of pick and rolls, and then Paul Lee with the deep 3-point shot. And then this shot right here, boy, Aram, the smooth jumper, he turned and faces defender with all that length and height. He was able to get that shot off. We take a look at the stats here. Both teams not necessarily scoring very well as far as field goal percentage. 3-point percentage, there's a reason why it's not here because it's pretty low. But, you know, fast break points have gone in the favor of Magnolia. But you look at the steals, the turnovers caused by TNT. 14 points off of the turnovers have been critical for TNT. It's one of the reasons why they've been able to get this lead, especially going into halftime.
That's almost a quarter of scoring for this particular ball game, as these halftime stats are brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Only one player scoring in double digits, and that is Paul Lee for the Magnolia Hotshots. A balanced scoring on the side of TNT with Rosario Williams combining for 14, Jason Castro adding 5. But we are expecting the scoring to pick up here in the second half. It has to, because, you know, even though the defense has been good, there have been point-blank misses from both teams, shots that were supposed to go in, that somehow bounced out, but
Yeah.
it will get better. It will intensify here in the second half.
Well, especially with the adjustments that both sides have made going into the second half. Some of the stats I also wanted to mention here, rebounding, the rebounding battle in the first half, Carlo, went to TNT 31-23. And then points in the paint is another thing. TNT dominated in the first half, 22-12.
So we're already seeing a very different starting unit for Coach Chito Victolero, as for Coach Chot Reyes as well, as Calvin Abueva did not start this ball game, but he will be starting here in the third quarter alongside Paul Lee, Mark Barroca, Justin Melton, and Ian Sangalang. Jason Castro, Mikey Williams in the backcourt, along with R.R. Pogoy, Troy Rosario, and Kelly Williams for TNT.
It is a bit of a gamble on the part of Coach Chito Victolero. You know, Calvin Abueva does have 3 fouls. He might pick up an early 4th foul in the beginning of this third quarter. Another stat that I forgot to mention here, second chance points for TNT. They had 8 in the first half. Again, one of the stats that TNT dominates the league in.
Duty foul given up by Mikey Williams allows them to set up their defense. 10 seconds remaining in the shot clock for Magnolia. Ian Sangalang against Williams. Goes cross court. Justin Melton picks up his dribble. 2 to shoot. One-hander is good off the glass for Mark Barroca.
Justin Melton was stopped in his tracks there, but that was a nice assist, a nice dish off to Mark Barroca.
Coach Chito could not get much from Gio Halalon in the first half, so he decided instead to start Barroca. Pull-up jumper, mid-range, money for Jason Castro.
A simple pick and roll play there. Pull-up jumper, free throw line extended, Jason Castro.
Sangalang fakes the handoff. Goes to his buddy, Calvin Abueva. Barroca now against Castro. Oli wiggles free, uses the screen from Abueva. Calvin wide open for 3, short. Rebound Pogoy.
He had all day to take that
Yep.
three-point shot. Pretty much the same play ran by TNT, but this time the ball was delivered by Jason Castro to Kelly Williams.
That's his third. 14 seconds to shoot.
Fresh 14 on the shot clock for the Tropang Giga as Castro is being hounded by Barroca. Jason almost losing his grip on the ball, losing it completely now. Forward pass to Paul Lee. Paul Lee with one guy to beat, misses. Abueva, second effort is good.
Wow. I mean, he had no space to get that shot off, but he still was able to manage. But it all started with the defense. You know, that converged on Jason Castro.
Kelly Williams wanted the response immediately, misses, but picks up his own miss. And now they will set up. Mikey Williams, strong drive off the glass, no good. Loose ball foul against Sangalang. Or is it Abueva? Who had a bigger reaction?
Abueva.
Loose ball foul number 10,
Ian Sangalang had a foul.
Sangalang, yeah.
Substitution.
They're really battling. The bigs are really battling both sides for those rebounds.
Ian Sangalang whistled for the personal. And he is called for the technical foul as well.
Technical foul on the Sangalang for reception to a call.
And he was complaining because that, Ali, was already his 4th personal foul. This was a similar problem in that game against the Meralco Bulls as well. Sangalang and Abueva in foul troubles.
And it's early in the third, too, so not good for the bigs of Magnolia.
R.R. Pogoy for 3, that's good.
Nice dribble handoff by Jason Castro to R. Pogoy with a three-point shot.
Good spin move coming from Calvin. Could not complete the play though. Williams against Milton. Lost his handle on the ball, bounces it to Williams. They could reset here. Still a lot of time remaining in the shot clock. Pogoy, another shot. Not this time. Crossover for Baroka, bounces it to the beast. Abueva had his pocket picked by Jason Castro. The blur up ahead, goes reverse, and it's good.
Really creative shot by Jason Castro. We've seen him do that time and time again. Another steal by TNT, which resulted in an easy bucket. Look at this nice handoff here by Jason Castro to R.R. Pogoy for the three-point shot. Then defensively, Jason Castro converting off of that defensive play.
And that forces the hand of Coach Chito Victorero to call a timeout. Jason Castro scoring against Mark Baroka. This timeout is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. We said the offense was going to pick up, and it has indeed picked up, especially for the TNT Tropang Giga here in the third quarter, led by Jason Castro.
Well, we saw that handoff, that dribble handoff to Jason Castro, to R.R. Pogoy for the three-point shot. We've seen a lot of the highlights from the first half, again, by Jason Castro, not just scoring, but also setting his teammates up. And then, of course, the defensive play right before the timeout. And Jason Castro's stats right now, 10 points, shooting very well from the field.
3 assists and 3 steals as well. Who will step up and stop the bleeding? Looked like Paulie got clocked on the side of the head there. Back of the head, sorry, as he had to call a timeout after the collision.
There's a lot of active hands on the part of TNT. Not just getting their hands in between passing lanes, but also trying to swipe the ball. Sometimes these things happen.
Get another look at that. Oh, it was
actually,
his teammate.
He ran right into his teammate. And those are dangerous.
Yeah.
Those are very dangerous. I keep thinking about a player from the NBA that had a similar type of injury, a much more serious injury, but almost the same way.
The whiplash effect on the neck.
Whiplash. I want to talk about Marcus Johnson, who's an up-and-coming star in the NBA. He was playing for the Clippers at the time. He actually had a similar collision with Benoit Benjamin. Luckily, with Paul Lee, this is not as severe, but still dangerous.
But you immediately saw, Jason Castro and R.R. Pogoy knowing exactly what happened. Trying to check on Paulie if he was okay. You can see Jason Castro even saying timeout because he wanted Paulie to recover.
And of course, adrenaline's pumping right now. For us players, former players, you don't really feel the pain. You don't have any time to feel the pain. I'm sure that's going to be sore later on, once the game is over with.
30-second timeout with 8 minutes, 25 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Still a lot of time remaining in this contest, but it is TNT starting to hum now. They outscored Magnolia by 3, 20-17 at the end of the first half, second quarter, sorry. now have outscored them 8-4 in the early goings of the third quarter. It's good to see Paulie back on the floor, as it looks like he has shaken things off. The three-point shot, top of the key, no good. Rivas with the offensive rebound, right back to Paulie. A lethal weapon, gives it up to Gio. They go to the corner. Barroca attacks baseline. Good little pass to Calvin Abueva for the basket.
Good interior passing, particularly from that short corner to Calvin Abueva in the middle.
We're going back to this 1-2-2 full court defense. Try and slow down the offense of TNT. High ball screen. Castro makes his move. Hand off to Pugoy. Nothing there for Roger as he sends it out to Kelly. Hand off now to Williams. Shot clock reads 4. Williams, shovel pass. Rosario for 3. That's good.
TNT taking their time offensively. It's been the dribble handoffs. It's been finding shooters in the corner, and the pick and roll that's been working so far in this third quarter for TNT.
Stretching the defense thin. That has been the name of the game for TNT as Barroca sends it to Calvin Abueva against Rosario. Abueva makes his move. Short.
Kelly Williams has been working hard on the glass the whole night.
Uh-oh. Calvin Abueva whistled for that foul.
It's not good.
That's the 4th personal foul as well for Calvin Abueva. Same with Ian Sangalang. So the Pinatubo duo, for all intents and purposes, Ali, might be done for this third quarter.
Two of your best bigs having to sit down, you know, at a crucial point of the game.
Rosario, same spot, different result, as Barroca swoops in for the rebound. Rivas and Jackson Corpus on the floor now to try and replace the output coming from Sangalang and Abueva.
Troy Rosario didn't agree with the call, but that was a good move there by Jackson Corpus. Kelly Williams so far has 10 rebounds in the game. Not bad for a 39-year-old.
And that has led to, you know, a decent advantage for TNT in rebounding.
2 free throws for Jackson Corpus.
36-27 edge in rebounds for TNT. 9-4 in terms of second chance points. Nothing fancy about it, just hard work for TNT.
This game here is a grind-out game. You know, nothing really pretty about it. We have seen some great plays, but this is definitely a grind-out, hard-nosed game for both teams. And I think they knew that going into this.
Yeah, you get that, you know, mild playoff atmosphere type of game between these two teams.
This one definitely has that vibe.
Oh, high looping shot there. Gorgeous coming from Mikey Williams.
The ball was able to get back to Mikey Williams after Magnolia double-teamed him. He was able to convert off that.
Oh, miscommunication between Rivas and Lee. That will be another turnover against the Hotshots. Opportunity for TNT to build a double-digit advantage. Williams sends it out to Aruela. Cobuntin now has possession. Pogoy for 3. Short. Offensive rebound for Eram. Oh, but he is whistled with an illegal screen. You cannot move until that pick hits.
There is a correct way to doing it. In more of a finesse way, as opposed to just. But then again, it's also kind of tough, especially when your teammate, which is in this case the guard, is coming off pretty hard. You know, it's got to be more of a synchronization thing.
Yep. It will always be the big man called for the foul, but sometimes it's
the guard's fault.
It's the guard's fault for not utilizing the correct angle.
There's times where I've gotten upset with our guards, with our point guards.
But then it's also up to the big man to not, you know, adjust his Because some people will pivot. They will bring out that hip.
It definitely is an art form, and there is a discipline to it because, you know, the play calls for a screen. And oftentimes, if you think about it, the bigs don't really set solid screens. That's one thing. And then when they do set a screen, it's not fundamentally correct. They end up sticking their hip out.
Let's see if the pressure will work this time around. No, it won't. Not even enough to delay the offense for TNT. Mikey Williams top of the key against Rom De La Rosa. So much bigger defender this time. Mikey Williams doesn't care, misses. The rebound goes to JJ Alejandro.
Again, another offensive rebound for JP Ero. This time he tapped it to his teammate.
Size advantage for RR Pogoy. Backing down. One-hander won't work. Rebound picked up by Pogoy. Will that be free throws?
Possibly. But 3 offensive rebounds. Less than a minute for TNT.
How smart was that for RR Pogoy?
Yeah, right?
How smart was that? Because there was no way he was taking a shot from there. I mean, with that angle, but when he anticipated the contact coming, he just angled for the shot.
Threw it, yeah.
He only manages a split though, as this will remain to be a 7-point lead for TNT with 5 minutes and change remaining in the third quarter. Halalon, short stab, no good. Rebound Pogoy. You can just sense that Magnolia is out of sorts right now without Sangalang and without Abueva, without Lee as well, as JP Eram gets this N1 opportunity.
Magnolia was in a 2-3 zone, and JP Eram did a really good job of battling Rafi Rivas, who is one of the better big defensive bigs in the league. This time he flashes to the middle, and he turns and spins. Finishes with the right hand, gets fouled.
So this, I think, was the problem, Ali. Coach Chito Victolero wanted a strong start. But when Ian Sangalang committed his fourth, he had to yank him out. When Calvin Abueva committed his fourth, had to yank him out. And then it meant that Baroka and Paulie had to play extended minutes just to make up for the absence of those two. Now all 4 are on the bench.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate for Magnolia because, you know, they've been compromised, especially in this third quarter, which is probably the most important quarter in any basketball game.
The question now is who will generate the points from this lineup? Jerick Ahanmisi definitely can, but he is not the type of player who can just create his own shot. He needs someone to, you know, drive in and kick it out to him.
Well, it might fall in the hands of Rom De La Rosa and even Gio Halalo. But you are right, Jerick Ahanmisi does have the ability to light it up, but this is the time that TNT has to take advantage and really try to extend this lead because Ian Sangalang and the Beast are out.
Here we go, Ahanmisi for 3, no good, but good setup job there by the Magnolia Hotshots. Mikey Williams attacks baseline, bounce pass to Kabuntin. Just a little too deep there to take the shot.
Good defensive play there by Jackson Corpus.
Ahanmisi staying confident, missing back-to-back. Corpus gets the offensive rebound, almost shovels.
Rafi Rivas is wide open for a few seconds there.
Rom De La Rosa in traffic, could not score. As it has been a crawl, a struggle on offense, and then you add to this a foul coming from Gio Halalon, so far away from the basket, perhaps not sensing that they were already in the penalty situation.
Yeah, 4 of your best scores not available in this third quarter, all because of foul trouble, and then just you know, Coach Chito Victolero having to prepare for the fourth quarter, really.
No, the fouls were a problem, and it cost follow-up problems.
Yes, it's a chain reaction. You know, just what you were saying is that he has to think about the legs of Paul Lee and Mark Baroka in that fourth quarter.
And now Coach Chito, sensing that he has no other choice but to risk it right here, right now, calls the number of Ian Sangalang and Calvin Abueva with 4 fouls each.
It is a risk, but he has to make that decision.
Yep.
So far, Mikey Williams with 9 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. You know, coming into this situation, Mikey Williams is already, you can see, you can see that he is very comfortable running the offense and orchestrating, marking out instructions to his teammates.
And to your point, he might be a rookie in the PBA, but this guy is experienced. Yep. Jerica Hanmitsi continues to miss as Eram takes care of the board. Magnolia Hotshots once again coming up empty. Eram hands it off to the blur. Castro takes the handoff. Goes inside. Great hands coming from Corpus as Eram runs out of space on the baseline. TNT Tropang Giga requesting this timeout. Less than 3 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. They're up by double digits, 52-42 against the Magnolia Hotshots. Taking a look at the team standings right now, TNT Tropang Giga, the only undefeated squad. Magnolia Hotshots are hoping to be the first one to draw a line on that lost column for TNT. But right now, things are looking good for the white shirts. Impressive performance here in the third quarter of action for the squad of Coach Chot Reyes. That big rebounding spread, a 10 rebound advantage working to their favor.
Well, you've seen guys like JP Eram and Kelly Williams really fighting and scratching for those rebounds, whether it's offense or defense. And that's been one of the key factors to TNT's success. Also, shot selection. I think that their shot selection has been a lot more consistent. Pretty much in this third quarter has made all the difference. It's the reason why they've been able to extend this lead here.
That was a 3-minute scoring drought, Ali, for the Magnolia Hotshots. Finally ended by Calvin Abueva with that first free throw.
And it really hurt them, you know, and like you mentioned, that chain reaction, that chain of events. Both bigs, Calvin Abueva, look at his stats right now, 11 points, 4 rebounds. Ian Sangalang, and then, of course, Mark Baroka and Paul Lee. But Mark Baroka back into this game.
And if this was a closer ball game, Coach Chito, I don't think will risk having Sangalang and Abueva. As another foul is whistled here against Jackson Corpus. That'll be 2 free throws more for TNT Katropa, for Mikey Williams. Third personal foul of Jackson Corpus. 53 to 44 is our score. 11 points, 4 assists for Mikey Williams. As I'd like to say a special hello to our good friend Dr. J. Andy Howe watching us on PBA Rush right now.
See Dr. J in a long time.
Yep. Certainly looking forward to having him on the commentary team once again here in the PBA. Good pass down low. Jackson Corpus with a quick hit to erase those 2 free throws that he allowed on the other side.
Looked like miscommunication from the top there. Jackson Corpus was able to cut down to the middle, be wide open.
And when we say that Coach Chito, you know, would have to gamble with Sangalang or Abueva, it doesn't mean that they'd have to score. It just means that they mean so much for the offense.
Just their presence alone, you know, it means a lot.
Abueva now, another nice pass. Corpus lost his grip on the ball on the way up. Mark Baroka recovers, overshoots the mark. There's a lucky break there for TNT.
Very lucky break, because Jackson Corpus is wide open on the second time.
He opted not to use glass and paid for it. Look at this move coming from Mikey Williams. Silky smooth.
Well, I like the way he created space there towards the baseline, and then it was a bit of a fadeaway jump shot.
Calvin Abueva goes to Sangalang down low. Goes reverse. Good move coming from the big man.
Finishing with the right underneath the basket, Ian Sangalang.
If you're Magnolia, all you need will be a couple of stops here. Just to inch closer. Certainly stay away from fouling at this stage of the third quarter.
Well, they're still very much into this ball game. TNT has to be careful here. Every possession, especially this type of game, really counts.
49.2 seconds remaining in the third. Ahan Misi sending the ball to Baroka. Calvin Abueva receives it. Gives it up to Sangalang. Ian making his move. Short stab is good.
Beautiful move there by Ian Sangalang. Kelly Williams didn't deny him and forced him towards the right side, but Ian Sangalang, nonetheless, great move to the middle with his traditional hook shot.
And that gives Magnolia 2 for 1 here. They will get the ball back after this try from TNT. That might be an offensive foul.
It was an offensive foul there, Carlo. And another turnover for TNT. And Magnolia slowly inching their way back into this game, only down 6 points now.
And when did it happen?
It happened when Ian Sangalang and Calvin Abueva came back into the ballgame.
Gamble paying off certainly for Coach Chito Victolero. 16.8 to work with. 1 foul to give for the TNT Tropang Giga. Given up by JJ Alejandro, and it will leave the Hotshots with 8.2 to work with here in the third quarter. Abueva pops out top of the key. Calvin, that's good. And just like that, they're back in the ballgame.
Just unbelievable shot by Calvin Abueva. He drives against Troy Rosario, and then he steps over with, I don't know what you call that, a running jump shot?
Oh, three-point shot to be the buzzer for Kelly Williams. He does not attempt a lot of those, but he can still make them. Look at this. Alejandro goes to the corner, Kelly Williams. And that is the risk that you take when you allow some more ticks remaining on the clock before the end of the quarter. You score 2 points, but TNT scores 3 on the other side. And it was a big quarter for the TNT. Tropang Giga, Calvin Abueva, and Ian Sangalang had to sit on the bench because of their foul situation. But Magnolia clawing their way back. Still, they're down by 7, 59 to 52, heading into the fourth and final quarter of action. It may not be the scoring explosion that he had against the Meralco Bolts, but so far, against the defenders of the Magnolia Hotshots Pambansang Manok, Mikey Williams doing very well in his first time to meet this squad.
14 points, you know, as well as the other stats that he's accumulated so far in this basketball game. But no question, is he a difference maker as far as his TNT Tropang Giga is concerned.
Good ending in the fourth quarter for Kelly Williams, as they were able to stretch their lead back up to 7. Open our fourth quarter as we thank you once again for sticking with us here on PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan with Ali Peak on the call. Ian Sangalang has liked that matchup against Kelly Williams as he scores again.
And they're going to keep going to Ian Sangalang for as long as Kelly Williams cannot figure that out.
And Ian got some unnatural rest because of his foul situation.
Exactly.
He's a little bit fresh here in the fourth quarter.
So it may work in Magnolia's favor.
That's true, as long as they stay away from committing their fifth. Both Ian and Calvin turnaround jumper won't work for Eruela.
It wasn't the type of possession that TNT wanted in that sequence there.
Sangalang once again. Kelly Williams defending. Double team comes for him. That was last touch by Calvin Abueva. Ball will go back to TNT.
I don't think Ian Sangalang had enough time to really react to TNT converging on him, and it happened real fast.
Eruela is joined by Kelly Williams, Troy Rosario, R.R. Pogoy, and Glenn Cobuntin as the 5 for Coach Shot Reyes. Rosario hands it off to Pogoy. There's a switch. Pogoy now versus the Beast. RR makes his move. Short jumper is good.
It's one of his sweet spots. You know, taking his defender off the dribble, going baseline, and pulling up for that jump shot.
Just a prime time move coming from RR Pogoy, challenging the defense of the Beast. For Coach Chito Victolero, it is Abueva, Lee, Sangalang, De La Rosa, and Barroja.
Take a look at this move here. We also have to keep in mind that Calvin Abueva probably trying to be a little bit cautious because he doesn't want to pick up that fifth foul.
True, fair point. Side ball screen. Lee splits the double team. That might be an offensive foul.
You get the chance to see that replay, probably see his arm stick out to ward off his defender.
It was also unfortunate because if you see this one more time, Rom De La Rosa was already available for a drop pass. But again, it happened so fast. Good effort coming from Cobuntin to draw that foul. 61-54, a 7-point lead still for TNT. Step back jumper. Good! Once again for R.R. Pogoy.
Two tough shots by R.R. Pogoy versus that baseline jump shot against the Beast, and now from the top.
Touch is too sweet for Pogoy as he extends their lead to 9, forcing this timeout from Coach Chito Victolero, 63-54. Timeout Magnolia. Back inside the Don Honorio Ventura State University gym as you check out this move coming from R.R. Pogoy. You have to give credit to the defense of Poli.
Yes.
He did everything to stay in front.
He did. You're right about that. He did everything that he was supposed to do. Arms, like really extending his arms, trying to challenge that shot. That is an incredible shot, though, by Roger Pogoy, or R.R. Pogoy. 12 points so far in this ball game, 5 rebounds to go along with it.
But he is starting to take over here in the fourth quarter. 9-point advantage for TNT. Who will respond for the Magnolia Hotshots? Battle of the top 2 teams in the league. We go back to Ian Sangalang. He spins, blocked from behind, but they will retain possession. And Pogoy will be tagged with a push.
That was a good adjustment on the part of Ian Sangalang, but the help came from behind him. You know, I'm sure that TNT's defense was anticipating him to attack left again.
Fresh 14 on the shot clock for the Hotshots. Sangalang goes to Barroca. Now they go to Abueva, fakes a 3, dribbles in closer. Sneaky pass down low. Sangalang had the ball swiped away from him. Scramble for the loose ball, and Magnolia will run out of time.
Good defense by TNT. You know, Kelly Williams swiped the ball loose from Ian Sangalang when Ian Sangalang tried to make that spin move. And then, of course, the 50-50 balls, which is something that's very, very crucial in any type of game like this. Kabuntin diving for the loose ball.
The defense now all over R.R. Pogoy after those 2 tough shots. Barroca has to slow him down. 7 to work with, double team now. Escape pass, Rosario for 3, no good. Oh, wow. Kabuntin skying for the offensive rebound.
Over Rome De La Rosa.
Pogoy, the runner, no good. Sangalang with the board. Calvin lost control of the ball. The scramble right now. Mark Barroca from the outside, no good. Rushed offense coming from the Hotshots. Perhaps a bit of frustration leading up to that rush attack for the Hotshots.
It looks to be, and also a bit of the a sense of urgency here, knowing that this quarter is starting to wind down a little bit. But still, there's 8 minutes left in this ball game.
Kelly Williams, another 3 on the way. Good again! Wow. How about 2 buzzer beaters?
He can knock those down. He's been doing it throughout his entire career, but 2 critical 3-point shots by Kelly Williams.
Dozen-point lead, biggest lead of the ball game right now. Paulie cannot get it back. Rebound for Williams. He has been a rock on the board. 12 rebounds in total, 3 blocks, and then 2 of 2 from the 3-point range.
Hey, look, those are solid numbers, especially at this stage of Kelly Williams' career.
R.R. Pogoy missing that one-hander. Magnolia still has enough time to work with here, but they will have to figure things out. Currently struggling with how they deal with the TNT defense. Ian Sangalang stops the bleeding somehow with a basket in the shaded area. Timeout requested by the TNT Katropa. 30-second timeout. Protecting a 10-point lead, 66-56.
It is now a full timeout for TNT Tropang.
No, they adjust it and turn it into a full timeout. We will be back after this quick break. TNT Tropang Giga still in the lead here in the fourth and final quarter of action. As we thank you once again for joining us on PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan with Ali Peak on the call. 66-56 is the count in TNT's favor. It was a tight contest in the first half, but TNT slowly building their advantage. Clear foul against Jackson Corpus as he was beaten by that quick first step coming from Troy Rosario. More problems for the defense of Magnolia here as Jason Castro re-enters the contest, replacing Eruela. 4 personal fouls for Abueva, Sangalang, and Corpus. As Mikey Williams goes to the corner. 3-point shot is money for the Blur.
Good offensive sequence there by TNT. Mikey Williams orchestrating that whole thing.
Gio Halalon counters with a one-hander inside. But the defense really has to pick up for Magnolia. They need stops in rapid succession.
You know, time is not in the favor of Magnolia, so you're gonna have to see. You're seeing a lot of pressure defense by Magnolia, trying to cause some sort of turnovers or forced turnovers. But TNT is doing a good job of executing. You know, just finding the open guy and being able to convert, being able to knock down shots. But, I mean, if there's some sort of interpretation of the second half on the part of Magnolia, the damage was done when their 2 bigs got into foul trouble. It really hurt them.
No, the problem now is that, of course, you will say that 6 minutes and 26 seconds is a lot of time to recover from an 11-point deficit. And I will agree, sure. But the problem is the offense of Magnolia has really not clicked in that way. I mean, in the first quarter, they scored 15. In the second, 17. In the third, 20. So on average, they are scoring fewer than 10 points per 6 minutes. And now you expect them all of a sudden to catch fire in the last 6.5 of this contest to come back and deal TNT their first loss.
On top of that, you're playing against the best team in the league.
Exactly.
So kind of a tough task for Magnolia. But on the other end, just thinking about what TNT has done, they've controlled the rebounds, which is something that Magnolia is pretty good at, and they forced a lot of turnovers. And really, if you think about it, they really had no answers for Mikey Williams, R.R. Porgoy, and
Jason Castro.
Yep.
So again, it has to be more on the defensive end for the Magnolia Hotshots. Yes, they can recover from this 9-point deficit, but they will need to get stops. As JP Eram is halted here by the defense of Sangalang. Gio Halalon pushing. Goes to Calvin Abueva. The layup is gone and one.
You're going to have to get those types of stops. You're going to have to really start pushing the ball here. Still a lot of time left.
And now you're seeing a little bit of swagger coming from the Magnolia offense. It stems really from their defense. Getting the stop, getting the opportunity to score. Because if you allow the defense of TNT to set up, they've shown that they've prepared so well for this Magnolia team.
Yes, they have. Yeah, that's a very good point, Carlo.
So your best opportunity to score against them is to make sure their defense is not yet set up. Mikey to the corner. R.R. Paguri open for 3, no good. Rebound for Ahanmisi.
They have to really push here now.
The momentum starting to turn just a little bit in favor of Magnolia. Abueva right in the center of it. Calvin, the one-hander won't work. Wanted a foul, referee's not biting. Paulie is still on the bench for Coach Chito Victorero, expecting him to come back at some point in the next couple of minutes. Castro against the youngster. The blur. Thwarted. R.R. Pagoy goes to Kelly. Another three. Why not?
Whoa!
Why not? Another buzzer beater.
3 in a row by Kelly Williams. Wow.
All buzzer beaters. That needs to be some sort of record, Ali. 3 for 3 from
I
deep.
think so.
All at the buzzer as he gets a steal here. Oh, that's a momentum stopper for Kelly Williams. Back to a
That's amazing.
9-point lead.
Follows on number 1, Jackson Corpus. Subdivision, Mark Roca for
Look at this once again. Kelly just hanging out there, waiting for this opportunity. And yep, he likes beating the buzzer.
He used to do that while attacking. He used to do that taking you off the dribble. I remember him doing that his years at Santa Lucia. Now he's just setting up.
JP Aram, a little too deep there, forced the issue, comes up empty. Calvin for 3, can't get it back. Corpus fouled, and that would mean 2 free throws as TNT is already in the penalty.
Magnolia is still attacking. They're still working hard, and that's a good effort play there by Jackson Corpus, still battling for those rebounds.
And when you're down, you cherish these opportunities to score with the clock not moving.
Definitely. And this is still, you know, this is still a very tight game. And at any given moment, you know, whether it's Paul Lee, Mark Barroca, Calvin Weber for that matter, these guys can start to catch fire, and we've seen them do that, especially Paul Lee towards the end of the fourth quarter.
Split from the line for Jackson Corpus. Leaves the lead at 8 for TNT Tropang Giga. Just so many weapons on offense in this lineup. Mikey Williams, deep 3, no good. Rebound, Corpus. Still no Paulie on the floor for Coach Chito Victorero. Gio Halalon, one-hander in traffic, banks it in.
Good attack there by Gio Halala off that pick and roll. The one-handed floater. Still keeping this game close.
Oh, that might be backcourt violation. Yes, it will be. Good gamble coming from Jackson Corpus, forcing that turnover.
TNT has to be careful here. Got to do a better job taking care of the basketball down the stretch. But if you're Magnolia, keep attacking. Keep making good plays.
They go back to Ian Sangalang. Double team waiting for him. Jump ball. Great read on defense from Kelly Williams.
Well, he knew exactly where he was trying to go, and he anticipated that well.
So important to note that if Magnolia wins this, only 3 seconds remaining in their shot clock. And that ball was tapped out of bounds by Ian Sangalang. (72 to 66), 3:24 remaining in the fourth quarter. Magnolia's still in this. Don't count them out just
They're
yet.
still in. All it takes is a couple of steals, a couple of turnovers, a couple of three-point shots, quick buckets.
Jason Castro. That was already, a turnover awaiting TNT. Luckily for them,
Well, they dodged a bullet there.
because Kelly was not even looking at that ball. Mikey Williams, 4-3, no good. Rebound goes to Troy Rosario. Calvin all over Troy. Almost a takeaway. That's a foul. Might be against Corpus. And if that is indeed on Corpus, that will be it for him in today's ball game.
It's probably the first time or the first conference that I've ever seen TNT this scrappy in terms of getting those second and third opportunities. I mean, 50-50 balls.
Yep.
And this is something that when I was part of this team, we would train for, especially rebounding. But I've never seen them this active, ever.
Clear foul there on Jackson Corpus as Jason Castro was already starting to dribble. If that ball was loose, sure, you can jump on it.
But Jackson Corpus, a lot of energy. He did the very best that he could do tonight.
Oh, good pass, Mikey Williams. Misses though. Another offensive
rebound. That's what I'm talking
for
about.
TNT.
They don't necessarily have to get the rebound, but just tipping it to their teammates, or diving for the loose ball, diving on the floor and tipping it to their teammate.
And this will be a huge play for the Blur.
Wow. Just when we see Magnolia starting to make runs, and this is deflating for Magnolia.
Look at this, second chance. Goes for a three. Gio Halalon in too close. As the Blur.
This is classic Jason Castro, Carlo. And you know what? Here's what's also important. Mikey Williams is taking up much of the responsibility of running the show, which means Jason Castro doesn't have to do so much of that. Which also means that Jason Castro, guess what, is going to have legs in the most crucial part of the game, and that's what you're seeing right now.
It keeps him fresh, keeps him dangerous.
I mean, that takes a lot out of you. Just having to bring the ball up. You're playing defense, then you got to bring the ball up, orchestrate, call out plays, and then be expected to knock down 17, 18 points per game.
Still no Paul Lee in this ball game.
It's just been the story in the second half for Magnolia, just struggling to get the ball into the basket.
I don't want to make any assumptions here, but you have to ask the question. After the adrenaline wears down a little bit, is Paul Lee getting the ill effects
That's a very good point.
That hit earlier?
The injuries, the ones that are really serious, and I don't think, I'm hoping that this is not a serious injury for Paul Lee, but the ones that hurt the most are the ones that you don't see coming.
Yeah.
He didn't see, his head was tucked down. He was in attack mode, or he was trying to use Rafi Rivas as some sort of screen, but accidentally his head ran into the lower back of Rafi. And those hurt. Rafi's a big, strong guy, too.
Kelly Williams bringing the ball down, goes on attack mode, almost gets the layup. But he will have a chance to earn these points from the stripe. How about Kelly Williams in today's ball game, Ali?
He stepped up big. It all started with the rebounds and block shots of Kelly Williams, and then of course that led to him getting comfortable in the scoring category. But in today's modern game, we talk about different eras, and Kelly Williams comes from a different era. He started his career way back in the early part of the decade, and he always has had that versatility. On top of that, you look at those numbers there: 12 points. Wow, this is crazy. 12 points, 14 rebounds, 3 block shots, perfect from the three-point line.
All buzzer
you couldn't
beaters.
ask for anything more from your veteran. Yeah, buzzer beaters. But he played the small forward position while he was at San Luis. And because of that versatility, because of that skill set alone, him being asked to play the 5 position, it works well in today's game.
Look at him still scrambling for the loose ball, diving for it. Gio Halalon goes reverse, goes back. As Magnolia still competing.
And you see the full court press there, but it looks like Kelly Williams rolled his ankle. And that's not a good thing to see, especially for your veteran.
And it was because of his effort diving for that loose ball, trying to save the possession.
It looked like he cramped up. Don't see his ankle rolling anywhere.
Yeah,
but it looks like a cramp. Yeah.
Might just be cramps. Well, at this stage, if you're the TNT coaching staff, you're hoping that it's cramps because that's
yeah, exactly. It looks to be that it's a cramp.
Oh, but that guy battled in today's ball game.
Boy, did he. Sort of turned back the clocks for Kelly Williams. But you look at this hustle here, swiping for the ball. Ball's going out of bounds. He saves it. He actually saves it.
And when he tries to get up, that's when he started to feel
realized,
it.
yeah. But Gio Halalon being able to score off of that scramble there.
And it looks like the TNT Tropang Giga will request a timeout. They're protecting a 7-point lead. It's not safe by any means with a minute and 42. As this timeout is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Kelly Williams in this ball game has turned back the hands of time. 13 points, 15 rebounds, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Yes, all important, but those 3-point shots, the timing of them, rescuing TNT in different possessions with those buzzer beaters.
You know, these were his stats 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Unbelievable output by Kelly Williams tonight, especially going up against a team like Magnolia, and then the magnitude of this ball game. But there's one interesting stat I want to bring up here, Carlo, and that's the 3-point shooting of Magnolia. It has completely abandoned them tonight. Keep in mind, as of September 3rd, they are the best 3-point shooting team in the league. They're averaging 34.3%. Tonight, they're only shooting 6% from 3-point range. So that is a huge, huge.
And now Jason Castro also starting to cramp up that left calf. It's a lot to expect coming from these players, especially the older ones, to play, you know, we're just 48 hours of rest barely, and then having to play heavy minutes in this intense game against Magnolia, where you will be hounded by either Mark Barroca or Gio Halalon or Justin Melton throughout your stint.
It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. But you know, I will say this. You know, what we've seen from this performance so far. You know what? I don't even want to speak too soon. It's 78-70, and Magnolia can very much get back into this ball game.
Big-to-big pass. Good connection down low between the Pinatubo duo.
Calvin Abueva fought his way, cutting down the middle. He was able to get the pass from Ian Sangalan and go straight up with it. But you know, just
30-second timeout, TNT Tropang Giga.
the management. Let's take a look at this play right here again. Big to big, like you mentioned, Carlo.
That was a tight
That
pass.
was a tight pass with a lot of hands, especially the whole night tonight. TNT's been doing a good job of getting their hands in the passing lanes and stripping the ball loose and picking passes off like that.
But now Magnolia will try to pull off a Meralco on the TNT Katropa.
Yeah, exactly.
Try to come back. Down by 6. As you take a look at the highlights for Calvin Abueva, another strong all-around performance for him. Again, bogged down a little bit with his foul situation. But the Beast still doing the Beast things for the Magnolia Hotshots.
Yeah, 23 points, 23 big points for the Beast, Calvin Abueva.
Can they score at least 7 points in the final minute and 19 seconds and prevent TNT from scoring any more? 2 timeouts still. Those would be helpful for Magnolia. If they can make this a closer ball game, they only need a couple of stops to get them there. 2-possession ball game only. Castro goes to Eram, fakes the 3. JP Eram for 3. That's good!
So we've seen huge shots by key players from TNT. Our Porgoy had his shot. Jason Castro, Kelly Williams, now JP Eram.
The 3-point shots coming from the bigs. Look at this, a fake, dribble, escape, and then a take coming from JP Eram. That might just be the dagger that TNT needed. 81-72, a 9-point advantage with 65.6 seconds remaining in this ballgame. Well, just when Kelly Williams went out of the ball game due to cramps, perhaps,
Looked like
to a
cramps,
cramped
yeah.
leg, the guy who replaced him, JP Eram, does exactly what Kelly Williams did earlier in the
And
ball
why
game.
not? Why not? I mean, look at those numbers there, 9 points, 9 rebounds. It's going to be different each and every single time for the bigs of TNT because of the type of offense that TNT runs, but they can be so devastating in other categories. JP Eram's done a really good job, and then getting on the scoring board with that 3-point shot, he definitely has that capability.
Big rebound coming from Ryan Reyes as Holly is finally back on the floor. But at this point, it might be too late, even with the presence of the lethal weapon.
You know, it had to have been that injury that he sustained, Carlo. You know, you mentioned that because we were wondering why he hadn't been implemented back into the game earlier on.
Ryan Reyes missing free throw. These may just be the finishing touches in this impending TNT Tropang Giga win. 56.6 seconds remaining. And we know that TNT's offense is outstanding, but it has been their defense that has been the key in this ball game.
Well, I think it's always been their defense, Carlo, throughout the entire conference. I think that's what's made the big difference for them. And then, you know, they have enough talent there to be able to put numbers on the board. Because if you look at it, I mean, they're not in the top 2 or 3 as far as scoring is concerned. They're sort of in the middle of the pack. But it's really been their defense to get them through.
Mikey Williams against Mark Baroka. JP Eram wasn't ready for that. Paul Lee, long shot is good. Put on the line even for the lethal weapon. As it would look like the Magnolia Hotshots will suffer their second loss as the TNT Tropang Giga will stay undefeated with only 13.5 seconds remaining. How about TNT rising to the top as they will be the #1 team, at least in our team standings, as we head into this timeout. The question now, Ali, is who will stop the TNT Tropang Giga?
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good question, Carlo. They're playing really good basketball, and this was a test for them because they're going up against a very tough team in Magnolia, and they answered the call. They looked very, very prepared, particularly on the defensive end. They did a really good job in terms of neutralizing, particularly the guards of Magnolia, and then the three-point shooting was another thing. You know, the challenges and the three-point shooting really abandoned Magnolia, as I mentioned before, which is a big part of their offense. Very uncharacteristic.
Luckily for TNT, they already handled the Terra Firma Jeep, who are on fire right now with 3 straight wins. It already happened before. They will no longer meet here in the elimination round. Again, we thank you for joining us on PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan with Ali Peak. We also wanted to say hi to all of the viewers on the Smart Sports Facebook page right now. Thank you for joining us there as well. Hope you enjoyed this intense contest between the TNT Tropang Giga and Magnolia Hotshots Pambansang Manok.
It's a low-scoring game, Carlo, but it was also, like you said, a very, very intense, competitive game. And it could have gone either way, really. You know, but TNT came out on top here with almost 6 players in double figures. Point Adam shy of 1 point in points and rebounds from being in double figures.
We will be having another timeout, 7 seconds remaining. 83-74, 7-point lead for TNT. My apologies, it was a 9-point lead, not a 7-point lead. As we take a look at the team standings right now, TNT about to stay undefeated, go up 6-0. Of course, they have yet to face off against the other heavyweights. No matches yet against San Miguel Beerman and Barangay Ginebra, still waiting in the schedule for the TNT Tropang Giga. So there are still many challenges along the way, but so far they've passed with flying colors all of the challenges that were presented their way, especially by the Magnolia Pambansang Manok Hotshots. Your final score is 83 for the TNT Tropang Giga and 76 for Magnolia. TNT, Ali, stays undefeated.
Yes, very, very good job, and they passed the test with flying colors, like you said, Carlo. But very, very good performance on the part of Talking Tex. But the player of the game goes to the veteran, the vet, Kelly Williams, with 13 points, 15 rebounds, 2 steals, 3 block shots. A really high-level game by Kelly Williams.
He is our next level player of the game, brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. That 3-point shot at the end of the third quarter, huge. It was the difference between a 4-point lead and a 7-point lead and momentum heading into the fourth.
Definitely. And, on top of the scoring, it was really his presence underneath the basket, securing all those rebounds, particularly defensive rebounds, that really helped him and helped his team edge out Magnolia.
And it's just so difficult to decide what you're going to try and stop if you're the defense going up against TNT, because they have so many options on the floor. They have so many capable double-digit scorers, aside from Kelly Williams, of course, the guards all there, Pogoy, Troy Rosario, JP Eram, all there helping out and making sure that they stayed undefeated as they dealt the Magnolia Hotshots their second loss of your Honda PBA Philippine Cup 2021.
Joining us, our TNT Tropang Giga head coach, Chot Reyes, and our best player of the game, Kelly Williams. Congratulations, coach, and congratulations, Kelly, on your win. Kelly, how did your team prepare for Magnolia?
Well, we know that they're a hard-pressing team, and they have a lot of active guards, and their bigs are very aggressive and skilled. So we know we had our hands full coming in, and we just wanted to focus on making sure we're smart with the ball, making the right decisions, and getting the ball up as quick as we can.
How did you lead your teammates this game?
I think we all did a good job of just making sure we played our position. Coach puts an emphasis on making sure we all are accountable to our positions and the responsibility and opportunities we have. We have to make sure we hold it down for each other. So it's just playing for each other, and we never really know who's going to come out and play well. And I think that's one of the strengths of our team. So we just all trusted each other and trusted coach and the schemes that we prepared for.
Coach Shot, how important is the presence of Kelly in teaching the young new players of TNT about the culture of the squad?
It's huge. Like I've said from the start, before I accepted this job, the first call I made was to Kelly and to see if he would be interested to come back in case I did come back. So even before I gave my final answer to management, I had to make sure that Kelly was coming in, because when I took a look at the squad, the talent that was here, I thought that Kelly was going to play a big role. Not only with the skills, but also in the intangibles. As we would need his leadership more than anything. So that's how important he is.
Question from Mr. Jerry Ramos of Spin. Kelly, it's been a while since you played this well. How do you feel?
It feels good to start feeling like myself again. It's been a while since I've played a game. So like I told Coach, coming into this conference, it's been a while since I've been excited to play. And knowing that Coach Chot was coming back, it relit a fire, because the system is proven, coach is proven, and it allows us to play. So it's definitely been a while since I've been in this position, and I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be back with the organization and to be under coach and be with these guys. It's really a great, special group of guys, and to be a part of this, it's a blessing.
Now we turn you over to our press friends. First up is Mr. Denison Dalupan.
Hi, Coach Chot. Hello, Kelly. Good. Congratulations on the win. Question for Coach Chot, sir. I remember you ahead of the Philippine Cup. You were telling reporters that you still have a lot to, kumbaga, fine tune before you get into a groove. But now, halfway through the Philippine Cup, you're atop the standings. What can you say about the journey thus far, and how are you? How do you intend to keep this team on an even keel moving forward?
That's a good point. Yeah, it's very important that we stay on an even keel. We're a work in progress. We are not thinking of the record. We're not thinking of anything else except to just get better. We're going to go back tonight, take a look at the film, and these guys know All our discussions tonight and tomorrow are just going to be how can we get better for our next games. So like I said, we're a work in progress, and that's how I keep them on an even keel to let them know that hey, it's very early in the season. We continue to look for ways to just keep getting better.
Thank you, Coach Shot. Follow-up question just for Sir Kelly. Sir Kelly, just wondering was there any particular moment in the past that you're remembering now with this start of TNT that reminds you of a special moment in the past?
We had the top two teams battling for the right to be number one. These game highlights are brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. It was a low-scoring first quarter of action, but it doesn't mean that the action was not intense, as these two teams prepared really well for each other, and it was obvious from the start.
Oh, definitely. And of course, we saw great plays from both ends. We saw Mikey Williams setting up R.R. Pogoy early on in the basketball game, but we also saw plays such as this, Rome De La Rosa setting up the vet, Rafi Rivas, for this jump shot, but it was sort of a tug-of-war on who was going to control this first half.
And then the low-scoring theme continued in the second quarter. Calvin Abueva driving, forcing the issue and scoring off the glass.
At this point of the game, Carlo, both ends, both teams, really laboring just to get points up on the board because both teams are very good defensively, but there were openings. Jason Castro off the pick and roll, being able to find Dave Marcello.
Molly had his moments as well, especially connecting with that long three-point shot. For the second quarter, TNT had a slight edge, thanks partly to this jumper coming from JP Aram.
Yeah, down the stretch, JP Aram knocking down that jump shot. TNT being able to establish a three-point lead going into halftime.
Coach Cito Victolero wanted a strong start for his squad. Unfortunately, Ian Sangalang and Calvin Abueva both committed their fourth personal foul early in the third quarter, and that just opened a big opportunity for TNT to start controlling the ball game.
That's where a lot of the damage was done. Even though Calvin Abueva came back into the game and tried to, reestablish things, it was almost a little bit too late. But we also saw more great play, more promising play by Mikey Williams, again, orchestrating the offense, controlling the offense, and then great plays such as this with Kelly Williams knocking down the buzzer beater to go into the fourth quarter.
It was huge, not just for the score, but for keeping the momentum for the TNT Tropang Giga. They were about to go up just by 4, but then led by 7 at the end of the third quarter, and Kelly Williams was not done yet. He would add to his heroics in the fourth quarter, of course, aided by R.R. Pogoy hitting this three-point shot.
Yeah, right on point, Carlo. That was a big three-point shot. Every time Magnolia would try to come closer, shots like that would really put a dagger in their backs. And speaking of shots, Jason Castro with his own dagger, three-point shot from the top of the key.
A couple of three-point shots from Kelly Williams, one from Jason Castro, and that dagger of a three-point shot from JP Aram was enough to ensure that the TNT Tropang Giga will be able to weather anything that was posed to them by the Magnolia Hotshots. This was the dagger, a huge three-point conversion coming from JP Aram. Had all confidence in the world to take that shot. And when they led by 9 points with 65 seconds remaining, it just guaranteed that they will stay undefeated. Your final score, 83 for the TNT Tropang Giga, the #1 team in the league right now, and 76 for the Magnolia Hotshots, suffering their second defeat of the conference. So for my partner, Oli Peak, I'm Carlo Pamintuan. We thank you for hanging out with us on PBA Rush. We'll see you again Wednesday for more PBA action in your Honda PBA Philippine Cup 2021.